So my name is Uri Pilichowski. I'm here in Mitzpeh Yericho, which is in the Judea part of Judea and Samaria. If you look over here, you'll see Jericho, Yericho, the old biblical city. Behind Jericho is the Jordan Valley, and then the Jordanian mountains, all the way up to Amman, the capital of Jordan. So this is known as the most beautiful place in all of Israel. In 1967, we recaptured this land. It hadn't been ours for about 2,000 years. And then, since the Romans took it from us, we came back in 1967 in the Six-Day War, and we took over this land, but we didn't annex it. We never made it part of the state of Israel. And actually, the land I'm standing in now, most people don't believe me when I say this, but it's not actually part of the state of Israel. I'm not in the state of Israel now. I'm in the land of Israel, the biblical land of Israel that was promised to the Jewish people, but I am not in the state of Israel. And it's never become the part of the state of Israel. And the world understood that to mean, based on their interpretation of the Fourth Geneva Convention, as occupied territory, that this was, we were breaking international law by being here. The Jewish people, by governing this land and by living this land, we are breaking the Geneva Convention, which is amazing to think that you could say it. There's an international law that says Jewish people can't live somewhere, Jewish people can't govern somewhere. It's absolutely amazing to think that there's such a thing still in existence. But the Trump administration this week came out, Secretary of State Pompeo, and said definitively that the United States does not think that international law says that we can't be here and can't govern here, and that Jewish towns built here, like mine, Mitzpeh Yericho here, would be an international violation of law. International law is consensus. I'm no expert. I'm no lawyer. But the international law doesn't have a penalty phase, really. It's not like you break the law in your home country or in your town and you're going to get a ticket or you're going to go to jail or anything like that. International law is open to sanction if you violate it. So the United Nations Security Council can come along and say that you're in violation of international law, and therefore we're going to sanction you. And that's happened many times to many countries. And everybody in the Security Council understands that if a resolution was brought up in the Security Council that would have sanctions passed against Israel, that the United States would veto it. The United States has veto power. So for the United States to get up now and not only say that we're not going to allow penalties and sanctions to be brought against Israel for violating this law, but we don't even think they're violating the law in the first place, it sets back every other country's international efforts to try to make Israel a pariah state for violating international law, because now we know that the most powerful country in the world that pays for half the United Nations bill says, no, they're not violating the law. So it puts the starting line much further back for the rest of the world to try to sanction us.